Hey YouTube, it's Jay again. On the way back from the gym, once again, got a little cardio in this morning. Hey, I've been, everybody's getting inundated with all this stuff on the Kavenaugh thing. And I think that there's a lot of stuff to be said, right? I think a lot of it is hype and a bunch of people wanting to grandstand and get their name in front of people. And for the life of me, I don't get how the Democrats are going down this path. I think it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. With that said, I am a conservative Christian guy, right? And I believe that everybody should have an opportunity to be heard. If you feel that this is the case, if you feel that you've been wronged, you should be heard. Okay, so she's been heard, and he's been able to rebut. This is absolutely a he said, she said. So without evidence, categorically the guy's innocent. There is no evidence to corroborate anything that she says. And the people that she brought forward as witnesses deny it. They don't even say, well, I'm not sure, maybe. They're just like, no, I have no recollection of anything like that ever happening. They don't remember ever being at a party with her. They don't remember any situation with her and Kavenaugh. These are the people that she suggested would back her up. They're all saying, nah, don't get it. Then you got all of these professors, right, jumping on New York Times op-ed. Like, first of all, professor today, you might as well just take the title professor out and put liberal in. You're a professional liberal. That's all you are. The schools are a mess. So nobody can corroborate it. Nobody can back it up. But let's assume that something happened, right? Something happened in her life. This would be kind of a crazy thing, and maybe she's nuts, but maybe there's something to what she said. So if that's the case, let's try to think through and find something that seems to make a bit more sense than what she's saying. Now, looking back at my high school years, right? I was not the most popular guy in school. I was not the best looking guy in school. I had girlfriends and, just a pretty normal high school existence. There were times when I tried to make out with a girl and she didn't want to be made out with. She was fine with a little bit of kissing, but nothing else. So she shut it down. Okay. I had girls that liked me, that told me that they liked me, but I didn't feel the same way about them. There were a couple that were kind of persistent in it, and I had to find a way to get them to leave me alone. Okay, so that seems to me to be more like a scenario that makes sense. Kavenaugh was popular, sports guy, affluent. So it makes more sense to me that maybe she shows up at some party that they're having, some little shindig that would have been inconsequential to everybody else, maybe him and 10 of his closest friends, whatever, guys and girls. Ford has a crush on Kavenaugh, shows up because maybe she got an invite, she passed somebody in the mall or something, gets an invite to this place, shows up. Kavenaugh's had a couple beers, when you're a teenager, having a couple beers is about it, right? So he's managed to have a couple beers, and she's thinking, here's my chance. I can make my move because, she's just sipping hers, trying to wait for her opportunity. They sneak off to the bedroom. Kavenaugh's buddy says, dude, that's not going to work out for me. That's nothing but trouble. So he busts in, breaks up the whole thing, kind of just turns the whole thing into a big roughhouse session with Kavenaugh. And she gets shut down, and the guys have a big laugh about it. She runs out mad and stores this up for 30 years, waiting for her shot to get back at him. Now, I'm probably fixing to piss a few people off. And ladies, I'm sorry if this upsets you. Most women do not operate from a position of logic. They operate from a position of emotion. That's just the way you're wired. You know it. I know it. No big deal. Everybody deals with it. But because of that, a lot of women are just mean and trifling. When you find a good one that's not, you better cling to her. If you got one that is, you might want to look at getting rid of that one. But this just sounds like a typical mean, vengeful woman, right? Hell hath no fury kind of thing. This is the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard. This whole process has been absolutely ludicrous. And I know that I just saw in the news this morning while I was working out that the FBI wrapped up their stuff and delivered it overnight and locked it in a single vault, or there's a single copy so nobody can leak it. Somebody's going to leak it, dude. Because that's what the Democrats do. That's what the left does. They can't win with the law. They can't win with logic. So they try everything in the court of public opinion. Because they can't win anywhere else. And in the court of public opinion, they only pander to those emoji-driven people. Maybe that's what we should call them. They're emojis, right? They're all about the feels. And no logic, no reason, no Socratic method to anything. They're just all about the feels, right? So if it feels bad, it must be bad. If it makes me feel uncomfortable, then it should make everybody feel uncomfortable, and therefore it needs to be done away with. It's just all a crock. People have gotten the opinion that confrontation is a bad thing. Confrontation is not a bad thing. Confrontation is a good thing when handled appropriately. That's what spurs thought and imagination and creativity. When you are confronted with something that you don't believe in or that you may not be able to handle. So, when we look at this and we look back across this, no matter how this thing turns out, first of all, if they don't confirm Kavenaugh, I've lost total faith in the Senate. They're a bunch of idiots if they can't figure this out. And flake is a flake. Sorry, dude. You're a loser. No other way to put it. You can't stand up and see this. You caved to try to make the country feel better. Why don't you just do the right thing and let the country figure it out? How about that for an option? How about do the right thing no matter what it costs you? That's what honor is. Doing the right thing no matter what. So, no matter how this thing turns out, the Senate has taken a huge black eye, in my opinion. Our legislative branch is a freaking joke. A joke. I wish that states had a law, and maybe they do. If you think that they do, or if you know whether or not states have this law, comment down below. But I wish that states had a law that said, hold on, Mr. Senator, Mr. Congressman, Mr. Representative, you're not doing what we think you should do. So we're calling you back. You need to come on back home, and we need to have a discussion about what you're actually up there to do, which is to represent the will of the people, not your own agenda. Maybe if states had a law and enacted that law and actually used it, where they could say, you know what, you're not behaving the way that we want you to behave. So you're going to need to come on back home, and we'll figure out another solution for this here, or maybe you need to have your priorities rearranged for you. That would be awesome. Anyway, I'm about home, so hope you all keep it real, and we'll talk to you later.